estamos, para que todos sepan. Yo, what's up, mi gente? It's your boy Marco Rojas here at another episode of Aquí Estamos. I wanted to keep it brief, just kind of giving you guys the lowdown of what's been happening here at the Rojas household. So, as you followed along in the previous episodes, I've always talked about issues that has been affecting nuestra comunidades and our communities, right? So, we know since 2020, man, or even 2019, if you want to be technical about it, we know that COVID has been impacting our societies. Conservatives will say it's not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, everything that I heard, you can hear from both sides. There's no doubt about that. But in today's episode, I just want to talk about how COVID impacted us. Yo, so check this out, man. So right before Thanksgiving break hit, and I'm saying like Thanksgiving, I'm speaking from a teacher's terminology, but right before Thanksgiving or the week before Thanksgiving, Friday, I was just feeling out of it, man. I felt like I had a flu. I felt like sick to I just felt off. Like something about me was off. I was having trouble breathing for sure. I had a sore throat that was coming in, a little bit of a headache, and I was just like feeling out of it. And so right from that moment, I knew, number one, I was like, wait a minute, I can't be around my wife. So I isolated myself for a few days just to play it safe, right? So I went to get tested the next day. So that was Friday, November 20th, I believe. So the next day I went to go get tested at this local site. And yeah, I was just waiting there. But I kept hearing this, they kept saying things like, hey, they take forever to get results. So luckily I had made another appointment with my medical insurance, Kaiser. And so I ended up getting tested again following Monday. And so I was feeling sick. I was feeling out of it. Honestly, that's one of the main reasons why I wasn't able to record these past episodes. I've been really letting myself take a break, really focusing on work because I had to finish that up because we're at the end of the semester. But I was feeling sick. I was feeling out of it for sure. And ultimately, I got my results that following Saturday and it tested positive. And when I say a mind blow, that's what it was. I just felt mentally like, bam. I was like, whoa. Like, you hear stories about testing positive, but man, I didn't expect that. And so from that point forward, I just knew that I had to take my health serious from there and make sure that I stayed away from everybody. Unfortunately, my wife's pregnant and I gave it to her. And so we both ended up getting sick and we were worried, but thank God now that we're at the end of it, we could speak about this and highlight why we need to take this serious from day one and really be distanced from one another. That's got to be the most important part out of all this. My wife and I are right now finishing a vlog. It's called Rojas con Amor, but we talk about this episode about testing positive and just isolating. So y'all got to check it out on YouTube, Rojas con Amor. But that one was just something that, just testing positive overall, it was something that was mind-changing, just because I never thought it would happen to me. I mean, just be honest, I think one of the hardest things was I always took everything serious, washed my hands, stay distant. I did everything that I can and just do my part, but it's so easy to be transmitted because it was from a family member that just sent it to me, and we all thought out of all places, right? You hear stories, it was transmitted that way. So it's so easy, man. And I just really want to highlight how I felt and just to talk about how it's easy to basically pass it to somebody else, literally. And so literally the first 5 days I felt out of it. Yeah, I had a fever of like 101 or 102. I don't quite remember. And so I literally was feeling weak and all that. I would say that through this time, I was able to focus on things that I knew I had to grow in, growing in my relationship with my wife, growing in knowledge, trying to grow aquí estamos as much as I can. But it was a blow too, because I just felt that this kind of took me out of my normal pace. So I feel like I had to slow down on everything because your body just doesn't have that same energy like you normally do. So I can't, work and then do the podcast and then I mean I could, but man, I just didn't have that energy. So it was tough. And now, as we are reaching the end of it, or basically I'm at the end of it because I'm at the point now where quarantine has ended for me, or isolation, right? It's been already a week, but I just put another extra week just in case, right? Because we could still be contagious. Lastly, sometimes we're not talking about major issues that we're facing at home, and even though I feel a certain way, I know for myself what my community looks like and how COVID has impacted even my own community here in Stockton, San Joaquin Valley. Some statistics that came out just recently was that we have reached full capacity, and now that we're in purple tier, things are starting to close up. Here in San Joaquin County, like the hospitalizations are at a new high. And so when I think about something that I might feel better, I know that here in my own community, in my own city, I know that overall I can see that we're reaching new levels. And I don't see, here's the thing is, wherever I go, I still see masks. So the question comes down to is maybe in public we're not, or we're following the regulations that the CDC recommends, but when I'm listening to stories or just seeing firsthand how we're still gathering in close proximity with one another in close homes and all that, it makes you wonder, like, will this pandemic ever end? Even though we see that, how do I say this? We see that ultimately people are still gathering and the numbers are continuing to grow. The fact that we're over capacity in our ICUs scares me, because now, that care that people need is not only through COVID patients, but, there's still people sick through other things, or unfortunately, like they're battling their own health issues as well. So it's a scary moment, and, we're entering a new year. We don't know what the new year looks like. We don't know if teachers are going to go back into classes, which some have, but going back with students and going back to the normal routine that we see in schools do. Seeing businesses open up. You want to still see small businesses be successful, and making sure that the guidelines are still met. Supporting local, absolutely. Like, man. So for me, it's a scary moment. Here in just my own comunidad, in my own city right now in Stockton, where the numbers are rising. So just do your part. Stay distance. Communicate how you can, and it's tough because I had to embark in my own isolation from my own home, even from my own wife, for a short period. So it's tough mentally, but the sooner we do it, and not always gathering, especially because Christmas is coming up. We got to think about los abuelos, los abuelas. We got to take care of them at the end of the day, because they're the ones that are the most susceptible to this disease and this virus, and then taking their own life. One of the craziest things, man, is that we're not with anybody else but my wife and I. I never addressed this before, but I made sure that I try to do the best that I can to give everything that my wife needed, because she was sick as well, and she was pregnant. And so I was like, nah, I have to make sure that she's okay. But also feeling that I can't see nobody else. So just my wife and I. And that was, it's been like that, but there was times where we still were able to see family. Now the fact that we were just staying at home and that's it, that one, I would say that was that was mentally tough too, because, every single day the same thing can be can be tiring. So in this process, I was able to see the great things out of this, right? So the fact that now we're able to recover and our relationship has grown on another level, I can say I'm so thankful to God for these opportunities, because not only this, I was able to embrace the blessings that I have. I'm able to breathe, able to taste, able to be alive, because there's so many families that have lost loved ones. It's no joke. I just wanted to share that why I've been gone for the last few days. We're finally recovering, but don't worry, we're gonna come up with some episodes out here, man. So I can't wait to just catch up with you guys at Aquí Estamos. And if you haven't, just go ahead and follow us at Aquí Estamos Podcast on Instagram. Follow a link on Spotify and Apple iTunes. Can't wait to talk to you guys soon, man. Love y'all. Aquí estamos para que todos sepan.